Yemen official name Al-Jumhuriyya Al-Yamaniya, Norwegian name the Republic of Yemen, state form Republic, capital Sana'a, population 29.9 LANDAREAL 527,968 km², total area 527,970 square kilometers, inhabitants per kilometer squared 56.7. Official language Arabic, religion Islam, national day the 22nd of May, head of state Abdrabbuh Mansur Hadi. In exile, Prime Minister Ma'in Abdul Malik Saeed Mynt Rial to 100 Fil. Yemen is a republic in Southwest Asia, Middle East. The country is located south of the Arabian Peninsula and also includes a number of islands, including Socotra in the Gulf of Aden and the Hanish Islands in the Red Sea. The country borders Saudi Arabia in the north and Oman in the northeast, and with its control of the Bab al-Mandeb Strait between the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden has an important strategic location. The population of about 29 million is predominantly Arab and almost exclusively Muslim. Official language is Arabic. Yemen has a rich history, and was referred to by the Romans in ancient times as Arabia Felix, the Happy Arabia. In recent times, Yemen, where various tribes and clans have great influence, has been marked by much internal strife, including military coups and civil war, and military conflict between the two formerly independent states of North Yemen and South Yemen. These merged in 1990 into one state. Yemen was the scene of civil war, with the participation of military forces from other countries, in the 1960s, and again after the Arab Spring in 2011. A new regional war broke out in 2015. The name Yemen is rooted in an Arabic word that can mean wealth, or it can mean the country, on the right, and then refers to Muslims in Mecca with their faces facing east in prayer with Yemen on their right hand. Geography and environment. Yemen is located between Saudi Arabia in the north and the Gulf of Aden in the south. The country's geography is dominated by a dry hinterland with mountains and desert, and a long coast. The plain by the coast meets a lower mountain area, before the highlands with mountain massifs. Yemen's highest mountain is Jabal an-Nabi Shu'aib, 3,660 meters above sea level. A total of 112 islands are included in Yemen, including Socotra in the Gulf of Aden, Perim, Comorin and the Hanish Islands in the Red Sea. The Hanish Islands have been the subject of conflict between Yemen and Eritrea, but in 1998 Yemen was granted sovereignty over the majority of the group. The border between Oman and Saudi Arabia was long unclear and disputed, but was determined in 1992 and 2000, respectively. Yemen has a desert climate along the coastal plains and farthest north and northeast. On the coastal plains there is high temperature and high humidity. The mountain areas are cooler, with periodic snow and frost in winter. In sheltered inland areas in the north and northeast, it almost never rains. The southern parts of the Gulf of Aden have a tropical climate. The vegetation varies with altitude and precipitation. Yemen grows a number of useful crops, including coffee and khat in the highlands. The once significant forests were mainly felled in the last century, contributing to further erosion and desertification. A formerly rich wildlife, which included large cats and antelopes, is extinct or endangered. Yemen still has large populations of birds and insects, and a rich maritime life in the Red Sea and Arabian Sea. People and society. Yemen is the second largest country on the Arabian Peninsula, after neighboring Saudi Arabia. Yemen has around 29 million inhabitants, and population growth is high, at about 2.3% per year. The population is young. About 40% of the population is under 15 years of age. The ongoing war has led to great social strains, including widespread shortages of food and medicine. Most Yemenis live in small towns, especially on the plains along the coast and the arable parts of the hinterland. Old North Yemen was smaller in area than southern Yemen, but had more inhabitants. The people of Yemen are mainly Arabs, divided into different tribes belonging to two main groups, one northern group that is said to originate from Mesopotamia, and a southern one with southern Arabian roots. The Mara is an ethnic minority in eastern Yemen and Socotra. Immigration from the Horn of Africa has contributed to a more complex population, especially along the coast. The same goes for Indian and Indonesian workers who were brought to Aden under British rule. Until 1948, there was a large Jewish group in Yemen. This then emigrated to Israel. Virtually the entire population professes Islam, 2/3 Sunni, 1/3 Shia, the latter belonging to the Zaydi sect. State and politics. Yemen consists of the two formerly independent states of North Yemen and the Democratic People's Republic of South Yemen, which in 1990 were merged with Sana'a as the capital. According to the 1991 Constitution, amended in 1994 and 2001, Yemen is a unified, Arab and Islamic republic, with a multi-party system. The president is elected by universal suffrage and has executive power. The National Assembly consists of two chambers. The legislature is vested in the House of Representatives with 301 members, elected in general elections for 6 years. An advisory assembly, Shura, of 111 members is appointed by the president. Yemen's recent political life has been marked in part by ideological and economic differences between the two states that make up the United Republic, and secondly by opposition to the old regime in the north, led by President Ali Abdullah Saleh. An uprising in 2011-2012 led to him being forced to resign. Democrat Tawakkol Karman was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2011 for participating in this part of the Arab Spring. The political process after the Arab Spring included a national dialogue on fundamental conflicts and challenges. This led in 2014 to a decision to make Yemen a multi-regional, federal republic, divided into 6 states. From 2014-2015, a conflict in the northern part of the country first developed into a civil war, and the president was forced out of the capital Sana'a, after the Houthi movement took control of it, then to a war in Yemen, with the participation of several countries. Yemen is a member of the UN and UN specialized agencies, including the World Bank, as well as the Arab League and other international organizations. History. Yemen has a long history characterized by its proximity to the sea and regional shipping, and to inland cultures. The country was early Islamized, but never colonized, although parts of what was for a time the independent state of southern Yemen, including the port city of Aden, were a British protectorate. What later became North Yemen was at times incorporated into the Ottoman Empire. In recent times, northern Yemen has long been an imam, and became independent in 1918 until the form of government was changed to a republic after a military coup in 1962. Egypt and Saudi Arabia intervened in a subsequent civil war, and the UN deployed a peace force, UNYOM, also with Norwegian participation. South Yemen became an independent republic in 1967, joining the Soviet Union. In 1972 and 1979, there were short-lived border wars between the two states. Yemen was united into one state in 1990. Discoveries of oil in the border areas, as well as the collapse of the Soviet Union, accelerated a solution. Continued opposition led to forces in the south trying to break out and restore southern Yemen in 1994, but the attempt was thwarted. Opposition to President Ali Abdullah Saleh grew after the turn of the millennium, leading to widespread demonstrations in 2007. During the Arab Spring, there was a popular uprising in 2011-2012, which forced Saleh to resign. In 2014-2015, the old uprising in the north, led by the Houthis, spread to several parts of the country. This led to civil war, and then to a multinational military intervention, led by Saudi Arabia. In addition, the United Arab Emirates in particular has participated with forces. The war in Yemen developed early into a serious humanitarian crisis, in addition to causing great material destruction. Prolonged conflict in several parts of the country has led to Al-Qaeda in particular gaining a foothold in Yemen at an early stage. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, AQAP, has established itself as the most effective part of the network, with base areas in Yemen. In January 2015, the group claimed responsibility for the terrorist attack on Charlie Hebdo in Paris. After September 11, 2001, the Yemeni government began cooperating with the United States to fight the Islamists. Al-Qaeda's founder Osama bin Laden was born in Yemen. During the civil war in 2015, the Islamic State, also emerged as a factor in Yemen, and was behind several terrorist attacks. Economy and business. Yemen is one of the poorest and least economically developed countries in the Arab world, with few proven and exploitable natural resources, and little industry, even though oil is extracted and gas is proven. Agriculture is still an important industry, even though only 6% of the land area is considered arable. About 30% is suitable as grazing land. Yemen produces a number of useful crops, but is not self-sufficient in food. In the past, coffee was an important export item. Khat, which has a mild narcotic effect when the leaves are chewed, has become an important crop. Oil extraction increased around 1990, and became a key source of income, until recovery was hindered by the war of 2015. Yemen also has the potential for the development of both fisheries and tourism. At the time of the merger in 1990, both Yemeni states were dependent on foreign aid, and on remittances from Yemeni guest workers, especially in the Gulf states. The very different economic models in the two former states, where southern Yemen had a state-controlled system and northern Yemen a market economy system, contributed to challenges in integrating the states and developing the economy. The Civil War of 1994, with great devastation in the economic capital of Aden, also contributed to the economic difficulties. The war from 2014-2015 has caused the country even greater economic and social difficulties, and several organizations highlighted the situation in 2017-2018 as the world's most serious humanitarian crisis. Knowledge and culture. Yemen's culture has deep roots, and among other things, the country's poetry is well regarded in the Arab world. Internationally, the classic, unique architecture is best known. This, including in the capital Sana'a, where many houses are kept in a traditional style, has roots more than 2,000 years ago. These include richly decorated tower houses built of stone and clay or straw and clay, with 4 to 9 floors, intended for one family. Sana'a as well as the smaller towns of Zabad and Shibam are particularly famous for their architecture, and are on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Nevertheless, much of this cultural heritage has been destroyed as a result of the war, primarily due to airstrikes. Yemen officially has compulsory 9-year schooling from the age of 6. The high school is 3 years old. Schooling does not embrace everyone. In particular, many girls fall outside. It is estimated that around 85% of all men, and about 55% of women, can read and write. There are several public and private universities, all from recent times. The University of Sana'a was established in 1970, University of Aden in 1975. Cultural life and the education sector, like other sectors of society, are severely damaged by the war.